my name is Miguel Myers. Welcome to My Horror Confessional, where every week, typically, I have a guest come on and talk about one classic horror movie that they haven't seen and why. This week, I wanted to try something a little bit different. Obviously, when this drops, if you're listening to it the day it drops, it'll be Christmas Eve. And I wanted to read to you some poetry that I found, some holiday horror poetry that, if you're like me, Christmas can kind of be a sucky time of year. So I kind of don't really go in for Christmas too much anymore. But I always like to talk to people who feel similarly. And, these two poems that I have for you are really fun and interesting. And I just want to try something different. So I hope you enjoy it. We'll be back next week with another movie. In fact, I'll have Eileen on from Uy Que Horror. And we'll be talking The Omen. So if this kind of thing is in your bag, please tune in next week, and we'll be right back on track with our regularly scheduled programming. But if you like the idea of some Christmas horror poems, just two, it's a short episode, listen on. Thanks. The first one is called A Very Bloody Twas the Night Before Christmas by Nigel Parkin, and I found it on comingsoon.net. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the town he came a-stalking with nary a sound. In his hand was a list with many a name, the ones who'd been naughty, the ones to be shamed. He knew where to find them, entangled in beds, enacting the wild dreams that filled their young heads. He'd watch them while stroking the axe in his sack. Oh yes, they'd be punished with hard, heavy whacks. One who had sprung from the bed to avoid the splatter was torn open and gutted, and that settled the matter. The moon on the breast of a newly slain girl gave the luster of midday to the blood in her curls, and the chuckling killer, so lively and quick, defiled the corpse in the style of Old Nick. His eyes, how they twinkled, his cheeks how ruddy, how he loved this night, so long and so bloody. That drooling mouth, that fearsome jaw, the beard of his chin, all matted with gore, the stump of a leg he held tight in his teeth as he chewed through the flesh to the bone beneath. He stood back at last to admire his craft. He sighed with contentment and whistled and laughed, and with that he exclaimed as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good fright." That was a fun one. I like that one. Again, that was from comingsoon.net from 2016, and it was written by Nigel Parkin. The next one I'm going to read to you is called A Holiday Horror Poem That Will Haunt You All Season Long by Rachael Rumancek. And I want to warn you, this one is really dark. If you have a problem with children being hurt or anything like that, you probably shouldn't listen to this one. Hidden away among the coastal Maine cold lies a love story of sorts that has yet to be told. Swaddled closely I held her so dear, as the final hour until Christmas drew near, humming softly to her the songs that I sing, never wanting for her to fear of anything. The eyes of her father, the cooing of a white dove, they say no bond is stronger than a mother's love. Rocking her gently, I whispered her name, my baby girl Eve, you were never to blame. Nestling her closer, I breathed in her scent, while wishing away her imminent discontent. My baby girl Eve, you're as pure as the snow. Your father will be pleased with your virtue aglow. Please don't fear your father, for his love is real, his word is good, his kingdom ideal. It was 1 year ago, on the night we first met, manifesting in a dream I will never forget. Playing me his fiddle and dancing his dance, ensnaring me into his infernal romance. I gazed into his heart, and that's when I knew All my sweet love truly ever wanted was you. Twirling me around, he dipped me to the left. I couldn't help but notice his hooved feet were cleft. The most angelic of faces with enchanting dark eyes, a long forked tongue, capable of dissecting truth from lies. I listened when he spoke, and I knew that he was true. Consummating our union, that night, we created you. My baby girl Eve, please have no fear, for the midnight hour is finally here. The clock had struck 12, we no longer could stay. Your father has promised to return on this Christmas Day. Our moment had come, my love had arrived. I had proven my loyalty, and we had survived. 9 months in the womb, and 3 on this earth. My darling Eve, you were obliged before birth. My baby girl Eve, please do not be afraid, for the words of man have wrongfully forbade. You are marked at conception, your soul is a gift. We will meet again soon, the pain will be swift. I continued to sing in her final hour, her lips faded blue, her vessel then sour. I set her down gently and I brushed off my gown. It was time to go home and claim my crown. My baby girl Eve, you were never to blame. I simply asked my love what he wanted and he whispered your name. He lifted my hand and he gave it a kiss. I then followed my beast down into the abyss. So when I was looking for Christmas poems, I came across this one and I thought it was just a perfect connection between the last movie we did, which was El Día de la Bestia, or The Day of the Beast, and the movie we're going to be doing next Friday, which is The Omen. And obviously, if you know both of those movies, or if you don't, it's about the coming of the Antichrist. So I just thought it was a perfect one, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I really appreciate you guys listening, commenting, liking the podcast, just all the support that you've been showing me throughout the first couple months of this podcast. So I wanted to give back a little bit of a shorter episode as my present to you. Once again, just give you my gratitude. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be here next week with a brand new episode with Eileen from Uy, Que Horror. You're gonna love it. She's awesome. In the meantime, you can listen to one of our old episodes or the one I just did with Anthony Jerome M. for the Black Christmas. The Half Black Christmas was just an amazing episode. I had so much fun doing it. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, please give it a listen. Also, if you have, I have listened to it 3 or 4 times and it never gets. It's always funny. So maybe you should give it another try. Of course, as always, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at MHCPod, like My Horror Confessional Pod. On Instagram, I'm at My Horror Confessional. If you have any questions for the show, you can email me at myhorrorconfessional@gmail.com. The music was done by Taylor Fox. You can follow her on Instagram at the Taylor Fox. Her band also has an album coming out soon. You can follow them at Great Hag. The artwork was done by my friend Captain Mikey. You can follow him on Instagram at Cap'n, CAPN_Mikey, MIKEY_art. All right, guys, that's the show. Thanks for listening. And of course, happy holidays to everybody and to all a good fright. Go forth and be blessed.